I'm here with Jeff Bennett, arguably one of the greatest voice actors in the history of animated television.
Oh, you're too kind, baby.
You have arguably one of the most successful careers in voice acting. How did this passion start?
I when I was growing up, there were so many great character actors in the 70s. I hate to say that's the decade, but that's the decade.
Yeah.
It was the 70s. So I kind of studied those actors when I was growing up. And Rich Little had a show and he did impressions, and I was like, this is so cool. I want to sound like that. I want to do all these different voices. So I started working on that kind of stuff. So I was doing impressions of his impressions. And one day, strangely enough, I actually saw Maurice LaMarche on his show and then worked with him later, and I was like, I know you, but I don't know where I know you from. I had seen him on that show, on Rich Little's show, because he was a plant in the audience.
Uh-huh.
But that's basically, how I started out. And then when I came to LA, met an agent who was looking for somebody new, and it just got in that way.
It's amazing. What is your process for crafting a new character or a new voice?
I just kind of go from, it used to be that we'd see the drawing first, and you could tell from a drawing how a character might sound, whether it was like a bigger character, smaller, nerdier, whatever it was. But my process is always just sort of like how I feel he might sound, and then to do the opposite of that, the alternate, so one they don't expect, as well as one they do expect on the auditions. So that's always been sort of the way I approach it.
That's really amazing. And then, you've also voiced characters that have had such an incredible, resume or have already existed to some capacity in some way. What is it like to emulate an existing character's voice?
Well, it's an honor to be able to take over any of those, to do Lumiere or Merlin, and any of Bill Thomas's stuff that he did back, I think he started back in the 30s and 40s. And getting it right is really important to me, So I've done a lot with Disney character voices through all of that, and it's been an honor, and I love bringing my own feel to it, but staying very true to what they did initially, carrying it through. At some point somebody be doing that with all of us.
Yeah.
So
wild, right?
Learn now.
Yeah.
While you can, before he's gone.
Do you have a favorite character that you've voiced over the years?
Well, I love Johnny Bravo. I love the voices on Camp Lazlo that we got to do, because a lot of these we couldn't do now. Mm-hmm. I don't think we could do Johnny Bravo now and get away with it. He'd have to be canceled every week, which is an idea, but go with it, whatever. But yeah, Lazlo, Penguins, I love doing Kowalski on that. And whatever I'm working on, it's always a joy just to get into the character, try to not sound the same as another character that I've done. And over the years, it's harder and harder because there's only so many voices any of us have, So there's a certain amount of, oh my gosh, I've done Travolta like 4 times on 3 different, and somebody's asking me to do Don Knotts again, and I'm like, there's only so many ways you can do Don Knotts, so, I'm just going to do it the way I always did it, the other one, and, maybe Van Partible will have me do it too, I don't know.
It's amazing. It's so cool. And then last question is, do you have any advice for a young voice actor coming out here trying to get their start in the industry?
I would say study acting, work with music as well, because both of those things really help develop your voice and your characters, and really be curious about human nature and characters, and how you can bring that, but realistically also to the microphone. Because a lot of people, they can do a voice, but the acting has to be there as well. You're still acting. It's voice acting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's incredible advice. Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you again.